right.
About the last
There's
few minutes, but
RBN.
appreciate it.
Have a good
I
time.
got to run, guys. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.
What Really Happened with your host, Mike Rivero. The history the government hopes you never learn. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome to our show today. It is Thursday, April 9th, 2020. Sure happy it's Thursday. Sure happy it's Thursday. Sure happy it's Thursday. We've got a lot to talk about today. The phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. And Mike is in our control room, twiddling the dials, ready to answer the phone, put you on the air with your comments, questions, and opinions. So let's get right on into it here. I want to talk a little bit about Joe Biden, who is now the presumptive Democratic nominee for president of the United States of America. And Donald Trump is out there wondering why former President Obama is still not endorsing Joe Biden. And he came out with this comment about maybe Obama knows something you don't know, which would make sense. I mean, Biden was Obama's vice president. You'd think the endorsement would be a pro forma, just a matter of course. But something else is going on here. Now, apparently, Joe held a virtual town hall yesterday from his Delaware basement and jumbled the words so bad that even he admitted he wasn't making much sense. So here's the situation we have here. The Democrats now have themselves a candidate who is not presenting very well on TV. If they ever get a debate between Biden and Trump, Trump is just going to steamroller over him. And I'm not sure what's going on here because one of two cases is going to apply. Either the Democrats have decided there's no way they're going to win November. There's no way they're going to win the White House in November. And they're just going to go with Sleepy Joe, bumbling Biden. And that'll be that. They've got a candidate. He's going to lose anyway, so who cares? I'm not in favor of that point of view. I think something else is in the works. I think Biden is going to wind up not being the candidate. And I'm not the only one who was saying so. There was an article over here in knockreport.com basically saying, stop assuming Joe Biden will be the nominee. The DNC has tricks up their sleeves. Now, the Daily Wire's co-founder, Jeremy Boring, tweeted out, I'm still 50-50 on whether or not Biden will be the nominee. And a lot of people are very skeptical that the Democratic establishment is going to allow Biden to be the nominee. So, meanwhile, of course, Biden is now committed to declaring a running mate, and he's got a list of 11 women that he is considering, and it looks like he's zeroing in on Kamala Harris. He made a comment saying he's coming for her. Now, he needs somebody who's strong where he's weak, and Kamala seems to be that person. But I still think that Hillary Clinton is planning an end run at the convention. All right, we're going to take a phone call. Don in Arizona. Aloha, Don. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, that Kamala Harris is a world-class slut. I think Biden just wants to get in her pants, probably.
Well, that was McCain's mistake with Sarah Palin.
Well, Kamala Harris is she was the mistress basically of Willie. Was the guy's name Willie Brown in California,
Yeah.
and that's how. And he admitted it. He said, she gave me sex in order for her career. But what I want to talk about, Mike, is the economy. Peter was talking about the other day, the things that happen when people are unemployed. All of a sudden, everything goes to hell. I mean, they're not buying cars. Another thing they're not able to buy is houses, a home. And I'm trying to sell a condo here in Tucson, Arizona. I almost had it sold, I think at $57,000. It's real cheap for a condo. People that know anything about condo market. And they backed out. And my realtor says nobody's buying. Well, you can't go to a realtor, to a mortgage guy and say, hey, here's my job, because you don't have a job anymore because you got laid off. So people right now, there's no movement. What I'd like to do is make an offer to your audience here, if it's okay with you.
Sure.
I got a unit here for $50,000, 1 bedroom, 2 bath, 806 square feet. It's a good deal. It's the cheapest condo actually in Tucson. And if you like sunshine, you'd like it here. But if somebody gives me that full price, I'll write a check to Mike Rivera for $500. So you help Mike out and help me out, and you help yourself out. You get a good deal on this. So can I
How
tell
would
them where
they
to
get
look
in
on
touch with
Zillow?
you?
No, they go on Zillow. I'll tell them where to look on Zillow. Okay.
Okay.
Zillow.com. It's just look on Zillow.com. It's Tucson, Arizona. Click on condos and go lowest to highest price. It's the only condo there for $50,000, and it's 1600 North Wilmot, Unit 301. In case somebody wants it. I know some people there are thinking about moving, and Arizona's not bad. You know, we're not shut down here. The bicycle trail's open. There's people there jogging, roller skating, everything, getting some sunshine. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, Mark. I'll let you go. Thanks.
Okay. Let's see. We're having apparently connection issues. The internet is under strain, and apparently my voice is wavering a little bit, and it sounds like I'm shaking or something. It appears to be the connection. So anyway, the Democrats are pushing for mail-in voting for November. And the problem with that is it could let millions of ineligible voters vote, meaning illegal immigrants. As many as 24 million ineligible voters could vote. Now, the Pew Research Center reported in 2012 that state voter rolls include 24 million ineligible or inaccurate voter registrations. And you just know there's going to be a lot of cheating, especially if Hillary Clinton tries to step in as the Democratic nominee. By the way, Nancy Pelosi tried to insert language in the Coronavirus Relief Act that would have overturned voter ID laws in 35 different states. We're going to go back to the phones here to John in Tennessee. Aloha, John. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, Mike. I mean, you know, just bits and pieces. We're all trying to put this together. What's it going to look like when this thing is over? I'm thinking minimum two things we're going to get when this COVID thing's over. We're going to have some form of universal basic income, and then we're going to have the single-payer healthcare system because it's a tax, you know. And I think it's okay if Trump's in office with those two things going on. Because like I called before and I said, hey, global financial reset. Yeah, maybe when this thing is over, the United States is the lender to the world. Maybe that's it. The United States is now the bank of the world, and we run the show. That's the only way we can beat China. Is, you know, if they want to do any business whatsoever, they got to do it in the U.S. dollar. So, you know, the Q drops and all the other. I mean, I've heard it in multiple different avenues, but lost my train of thought there. No, that Trump was going to try to nationalize the Fed, and I can't wrap my head around it. But then again, if the United States government were to default on the Fed, that would be the end of the Fed. Okay, fine, right? It's a reset. But then, if the United States, if the dollar is what everybody wants, it's what we've given everybody. It's how oil is priced. Coming out of this, you know, Trump is, he's such an actor. He's the perfect guy just to deliver the message. Don't worry, we're going to make you whole. We're going to send you money. I mean, because, you know, like when Gerald Celente used to always talk about Mussolini fascism, and he would say that's where the corporations would marry the state. Well, that's exactly what it is. The tyranny is not coming from the government. It's coming from all the employers. I mean, anytime you get a job, you get, you know, a 600-page employee manual. You can't do this. You can't do this. Sexual harassment. Don't make Seinfeld jokes at the cooler. You know, you can't do anything. So now here comes the government going, global pandemic. Everybody wear a mask. Do this. Stay 6 feet away. Don't deny it. You know, political correctness, all this stuff. It's coming from the employers. So all these people in America are just willing to lose their job. I mean, there's got to be, you know, or be furloughed. My daughter was furloughed, you know, which means, oh, we're going to hire you back. Well, maybe they're not going to hire her back. It's just a sales job, you know. So I see too much calm with now they're starting to show on the news, though. I've seen the videos of the enormous lines of people at the unemployment offices. We're all risking our health to get signed up for unemployment, which again, I don't know if it's supposed to mirror the Great Depression with the food lines. I don't know, but it does seem to me too calm. There's not enough panic going on. And I would just have to think that there's got to be all these backdoor deals. The government's going to make you whole. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry. Just go with the program. But when it's all over and said, don't worry. The government's got your back. We'll make you whole. You're all the people that didn't get. They said a third of the landlords didn't get any rent paid in April. Don't worry. Who's going to make that rent payment? Somebody's going to make that rent payment. So, and like I said, Trump is the way he talks. You know how he talks. He just speaks in generalities and all upbeat and positive, everything that comes out of his mouth. So I think he's the perfect guy to give us universal basic income and a single-payer healthcare system.
Well, I don't know about universal basic income, but I think a single-payer healthcare system would be an improvement over the system that we have now.
Okay. Yeah, it might be, and it might financially make sense, but the hospitals, you would think at this point, they're all bankrupted at this point. They've lost so much money that they're used to have. And you and I again, it's based on our age. We know it only costs, $1.13 to manufacture a Tylenol, but by the time they give it to you on your bill, it costs $7. So, again, Ron Paul 101, right? The whole system is just broken, and the more hands you have doing paperwork to send out a bill, you break your leg. Oh, do you have insurance? No, I don't. Okay, well, then the bill's a third of what it would be if you had insurance. We all know the scam. But because John Roberts said it was a tax, it's a tax, and it's what everybody wants, So Trump's, socially, Trump's a Democrat. But then again, he's no fiscal conservative either. So I don't know why these people keep thinking, they keep calling him Reagan. And again, Reagan signed all the bills that Tip O'Neill gave him anyway, so Reagan was responsible for all the spending. But again, Trump is no fiscal conservative whatsoever. So it's out of control. $6 billion is a ridiculous number, or $6 trillion, excuse me. There's going to be more trillions. And I'm thinking maybe that's what it's going to be. The United States is just the world's lender, and we're going to be fine because we're on top, So, like I said, just bits and pieces. Let's watch what unfolds. But like I said, there's too much calm out there. And I think it's because the White House or whoever's running the show has told all the people that are looking for money now, don't worry, we're going to make you whole. I'm in Nashville. You know what Broadway Street is here, right? All the bars, the honky tonk. Are you kidding? How much money a day? Are you kidding me? How much money a day are those people out? I don't think they're starving, but on the one hand, you go, well, you're an idiot because you didn't have any money for a rainy day. But you're shutting down the bars in Nashville. You're shutting down the bars in Nashville for a month. Are you kidding me? That is untold hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, like I said, there's too much calm. So I'm a little suspect of that. But thanks for letting me say my piece, Mike.
All right, you've got it. Thanks an awful lot for the phone call. Getting on back to the news here. Do you remember when former Acting Navy Secretary Thomas Modly flew to Guam to board the Teddy Roosevelt and harangue against the captain, for which he later apologized? Turns out he did not fly economy class. In fact, apparently he took a Navy or military aircraft. And the total cost of his trip to Guam, $243,000. My goodness, they have so much money to play with over there. Now, 1 out of every 3 Americans are saying their stimulus checks won't sustain them for even 1 month. And when they were first talking about $1,200 for an individual, $2,400 for a married couple, $500 per child. And the first thing I said is, it's not going to last very long. It's not going to last as long as the debate to pass that bill in the first place took. And that one-time $1,200 payment won't go very far. Now, they're already talking about yet another coronavirus relief bill. This one focused mostly on small businesses as opposed to the large corporations, but apparently that one is mired in congressional arguing, whatever. Let's go back to the phones. Bob in Colorado. Aloha, Bob. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hello, Mike. How you doing? It's been a while since I talked to you. I wanted to bring something. Maybe if we have enough people that are really starting to wake up, which hopefully they are, I would like to see a big push, and I'm going to start trying to call other stations also, and we ought to ask for the politicians to show their immunization cards for them and their family before we get anything inoculated or shot or whatever given to us, including the wonderful Master Bill Gates and his family, because they don't get shots. So before we start getting all this stuff by Fauci and all these globalists, well, I think that would be the biggest awakening we could have, is for people just like Kennedy and everybody else that has said, yes, they definitely damage people. Let's see all of Congress, Senate, and everybody else, and let's see their immunization cards for them and their family before they stick that thing in us. That's really what I wanted to say. And I hope people really think about that, because I think it's a wonderful idea, including, let's see, Fauci's. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I want to leave you with. And I hope people really take off with this, because it's been on my mind that are talking about a chip and all that. Well, let's see if they have chips too. Anyway, Mike, thanks. I'm getting frustrated. Aloha. Take care.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? All right. Thanks an awful lot for the phone call. We're going to let you go. The phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. Okay. Nearly 1/3 of apartment renters missed their payment in the first week of April. That's how bad things are out there. Now, some landlords are being very generous. One landlord actually waived the rent for 200 of his tenants. Other landlords are saying you can pay it when you can pay it. But a lot of landlords, even in states where supposedly there's a moratorium on evictions, they're filing eviction lawsuits, including Jared Kushner's property company, which owns apparently thousands of rental units. And everybody who didn't pay their rent on the 1st of April, they're already filing the lawsuits to get them kicked out. That's getting ugly here. All right, as you're probably aware by now, we've had a record of unemployment applications, something like 17 million in the last 3 weeks, and it's put a strain on the computer systems being used for unemployment, because apparently these are really old computers. They're very slow, and they're programmed in a language called COBOL. Now, I'm old enough to remember COBOL. It came out about the same time as Fortran 4 and was designed for business applications. In fact, my mother actually took a course in COBOL, and I had to help her with her homework. But hardly anybody programs in it anymore. And so they're trying to fix this outdated computer system and find ways to speed it up to take care of all the processing of these unemployment claims. Now then, one of the articles of faith that we have from the globalists, the open borders people, is that we need migrant workers to do the jobs ordinary people won't do. That claim has been shattered over in Great Britain because of the coronavirus and the borders being closed. Farmers were saying, we need people to come pick the fruits and vegetables. So they put out a call. 26,000, more than 26,000 Britons signed up to pick the fruit and the vegetables, proving that, yes, ordinary people who are indigenous to the countries will, in fact, accept those jobs. So that's something to think about there. This idea that we need migrants to do the jobs that we won't do. If you're out of work, you'll take what jobs you can. We got to take a break for commercials. We'll be right back after these few words.
Honey, I'm home. I grabbed a newspaper on the way home. Look at all the news today.
Don't you know that all you're going to get in the newspaper is propaganda, twisted news, and false information?
Honey, this is a national newspaper. It has to be true.
Ha! For some reason, the majority of the population believe anything the mainstream media tells them. The newspaper doesn't give out the important attention of what's happening to this country and news that affects our daily lives. Say, does that newspaper mention anything about the North American Union?
No, not that I can see.
I didn't think so. You need to go to www.newswithviews.com, where truth is more important than political correctness. That's www.newswithviews.com. Hey, don't throw that away. We can use that in the birdcage.
Okay, move over. Let me start reading newswithviews.com.
The truth? Read all about it at newswithviews.com. Newswithviews.com, where reality shatters illusion.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks, and ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
We will not go down in the night without a fight. You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight. Women and children alike.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show here. And once again, we're in the middle of a fundraising drive here for both Republic Broadcasting and WhatReallyHappened.com. And I'll give you an example of why we're out here struggling to get by financially. I'm with SiteGround for hosting the WhatReallyHappened.com website. And I used to have a dedicated server to which I had root access and a C compiler, and I could kind of tweak and fine tune it to where it could handle the volume of traffic that the website draws. Well, SiteGround decided they didn't want to do dedicated servers anymore. They wanted to move to virtual private servers on a cloud machine. And even though they insist that the configuration of my virtual private server matches that of the dedicated server, it's simply not handling the volume. And I'm getting lots of emails from people that they're getting gateway, bad gateway, connection timed out, service not available, things like that. So the only alternative is I've got to move to a new server that's going to cost me a lot more than the dedicated server ever did. And that's the kind of thing that we have to put up with, trying to stay on the air, trying to stay on the net, trying to get the word out. So anyway, if you can help, and thanks to those who already have, the postal address where you can send a check, money order, or if you prefer anonymity, cash, is Republic Broadcasting Network, 2251 Double Creek Drive, number 302, Round Rock, Texas, 78664. The phone number where you can make a credit or debit card donation is 800-724-2719, extension 3. The network thanks you. And of course, you can go to hit the little donate button at whatreallyhappened.com. All right, let's go back to the phones here to, we had major storms in our area last night. I'm talking to our control room. Apparently, there's a big storm over Round Rock, Texas right now. Let's go to the phones. Joe in Tennessee. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hi, Mike. First, I'd like to thank Fireman Dennis for calling in the other day and saying that he thinks something's fishy with 9/11 and the whole World Trade Center collapse incident. And it's good to hear. I like to hear from the firemen. If he ever calls again, I'd like to know what kind of discussions they've had around the firehouse about it. How many of his compatriots think that it was a false flag also. But, whatever, he gets a chance. I would just love talking to firemen and police officers about 9/11. It's a good litmus test on the person's character. But I wanted to talk, 9/11 served multiple agendas. And I was thinking the other day, like, what agendas are being served by this coronavirus? And you might want to add to them, but these are what I kind of come up with. It's an economic reset, Wall Street banker bailout, like usual. They were having issues with the repo before the coronavirus, and it's really a fascist kind of a bailout system where the government and the Fed are kind of just, bailing out all the corporations with our tax dollars. It's also a police state lockdown. They're kind of conditioning us. That's another agenda I see. I see a China demonization and a war prep also as an agenda. I see a new world order forced vaccination in our future, along with the depopulation agenda that I see. And now, like you were talking earlier, I see a election rule changes agenda. So they can basically corrupt our electoral system and pick whoever they want. I mean, if they can have mail-in ballots and the fraud that way, they don't even, what's the point, So those are the agendas I see offhand. And, if anybody wants to call in and add anything, I do think this is just like 9/11. 9/11, I could go through a list of agendas that they served with that too. But these are the ones offhand that I see. I'd also like to mention an issue I don't hear on the news much, but we had a Muslim truck driver slaughter 3 workers at our local Pilot fuel station. It's only about 10 miles from my house. Barely getting any coverage, even in Tennessee. It's a real shame. One lady's 57, 51, 47, just older women trying to, make some money and, survive in this day and age. And some crazed Muslim truck driver comes in there, and we don't know why yet. It's being hushed up because of the racial issues, because they were all white women, and the driver was a black Muslim. They said they got his notebook, and it was all crazy. So when I hear that, I said, well, they're probably saying that because it's something they don't want us to know. So they say, well, he was crazy. But I look at it like if the roles were reversed and it was a white truck driver and 3 black women, I think it would make every news station in the country. And it's really a shame because three women died, whether they're black or white. It was and it was with a knife, so I guess it doesn't meet the gun, control issue, so it doesn't get publicized neither. But it's really close to home. It's kind of, I can't say scary. It's just unexpected because, I'm living out here. You don't really expect it out in the woods in eastern Tennessee. But, hey, they're crazy people out there. So it's too bad none of those ladies had a concealed permit.
I would agree on that one. All right, Joe, we're going to let you go. We got to take a break for commercials. Got another caller waiting on the line, and we will be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Talk Right, the conservative app offered by TalkStream Live that caters exclusively to the conservative talk radio community. Here you'll see only talk shows and podcasts from the conservative right, all the big broadcast names and online digital shows in one place. Talk Right makes it easy to find all your favorite conservative talkers with all the upscale features you come to expect from TalkStream Live. Keep up with the fast-paced political world. Download Talk Right today from Google Play or the App Store.
The Republic Broadcasting Network late night premiere show of Redfield Hardcore is hosted by activists that want to hear from you, the listeners, so that you can get involved in the activism. Please call in at 800-313-9443 at 10 p.m. to enter the discussion. To book yourself as a guest, call our studio at 202-657-5715 or contact RBN staff. Remember, keep it real and take the red pill.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcasts. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When your doctor tells you you have bad cholesterol or blockages in the arteries, what do? When diet and exercise is not enough, we try medications and hope for the best. For the last 2 decades, I have been telling people about a natural method to help solve these problems and more. Extendovite can help maintain cardiovascular health and lower blood lipid levels in adults. The 7 herbs in Extendovite are known to work together synergistically to get the results we hope for. There are many testimonials on Extendovite's effect on circulatory-related ailments. Get Extendovite today to start your journey back to a healthier life. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or see us on amazon.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
What this country is coming to, I sure would like to know. If they don't do something by and by, the rich will live and the poor will die. Doggone, the panic is on. Can't get no work, can't draw no pay. Unemployment getting worse every day.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show here. We're going to go right back to the phones to Tom in Florida. Aloha, Tom. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Aloha, Michael. Good day. Yeah, Michael, that last caller, Joe, was right. That would have been reversed. If it would have been 3 black women, that would be national headline news for the next month. They put that on along with the coronavirus. But I didn't call about that too much. I wanted to talk about this. Yeah, Michael, you said it the other day, and what you said was very heavy, what you said. You said Nancy Pelosi should be arrested. She absolutely needs to be arrested. So all these Democrats and rhinos need to be arrested for sanctuary cities. What this pig Pelosi's trying to do is get another stimulus check. And by the way, Michael, when I get my stimulus, I'm going to donate you $100. And I already got something coming from you from Liberty Stickers. They're great people over there. Just want you to know that.
Well, thank you.
You get $100 out of my stimulus as soon as I get it. It might be in July, but I don't know when it's going to get here. If I ever get it, we'll see. I should. Absolutely should get it. I deserve it. But, yeah, Michael, what I want to say is with Biden, he's probably this Kamala Harris here in Miami, the first debate. Did you remember her tearing him a new butthole, Biden?
Yes.
And now it looks like he's going to pick her for his running mate. It looks very well like she might be in the top 3 for him to pick. Supposedly he's going to pick a woman. So I kind of hope it is her, because they'll run the tapes of her tearing him up in Miami here, Dade campus here, and South Florida area. And also, I want to mention this, Michael. Getting back to Nancy Pelosi, you said the other day she does need to be arrested. This woman, Orange County, Michael, Rachel Maddow, the other day, where Orange County, California, is 60% minority now.
Yes.
That includes Costa Mesa, or all of Orange County. Now, how can that have happened in a 25-year period? Unless it was a total invasion allowed by the, I don't know what you call those, I don't know what you call the people in California allowed this, hippies or what, but they have allowed that state to be overrun. The land of Ronald Reagan, the land of Nixon, the land of all these other great Republicans. Now it's a bunch of liberals, 8 million illegals in the state. And you got pigs. Pelosi has proof control running around San Francisco. Anaheim by Disneyland is a disgrace. They got 38,000 people living in tents outside of Anaheim, and nothing's being done. And you got that guy Newsom. He's as bad as that guy Moonbeam. Okay, California is destroyed. It was the 15th largest economy in the world in 1996. California is the 15th largest economy in the world. Now it's utter disaster. It's overrun by 8 million illegals who will never vote Republican. They're always, look, this whole thing, what you said a few minutes back, Michael, is about 25 million illegals voting in the next election. What is Trump doing here? Trump should be arresting these people left and right. They should not only for the Chinese, what the Chinese have done, what the Democratic Bolsheviks have done in this country with this coronavirus and all these illegals in here, and stop being stopped. The drugs that are pouring in here and the other diseases that are pouring in here by the day. Tuberculosis is rampant again. It's crazy. But Pigs Pelosi is dictating to our country and our citizenry about how much money she wants to be willing to give out. And if she don't get $300 billion for the illegals in Sanctuary City, the Democrats ain't going to get on board during the next stimulus. What kind of conspiracy is that? What kind of treasonous act is that? And President Trump, you need to start arresting these people, man. And the border, that's a catastrophe. But look, Michael, you know this. When Ronald Reagan signed that amnesty bill for the 2 million, what was supposed to happen when Reagan signed that? Can you please tell your audience about that?
Are you talking about the Operation? No, that was Eisenhower did Operation Wetback, I think.
Yes, that's right. I'm talking about when Ronald Reagan, what Ronald Reagan said was the worst thing he ever did as president of the United States. You can check it out, archive it. Is he said that I allowed these 2.5 million illegals, I signed them in to stay here in this country, but then with the border was supposed to be sealed off and shut off, and we were supposed to stop all illegal immigration, period. Nothing's happened. We got this DACA they're going to throw in Trump's face, DACA, CACA, whatever you want to call it. Okay? You got this bumbling moron and bumbling idiot Biden. They actually want this guy for president? This guy's got a 98-year-old brain. He's going to probably pick that Kamala Harris or that Stacey Abrams, split tooth. I mean, this is absurd, man. This is absurd. And half this country's divided the way it is because of all these illegals and stuff. And you know what? I still got to ask this question, Michael. What is these illegals? How are the illegal aliens that are pouring into this country helping the Afro-American community? According to what I see, there's only 2 million illegals. I mean, there's only 2 million people working in agriculture in this country. There's another 900,000 doing lawn service businesses. So what are these other 24 million or 30 million illegals doing? What kind of jobs do these other 30 million people have? And how are they living in California and apartments and all that, but you got hundreds of thousands of Americans, white and black, homeless, living in tents or living in cardboard boxes? How is this happening? I mean, I don't see the illegals complimenting the Afro-American community, let alone the white Anglo community. They're not coming here to compliment us. They're coming to eat our lunch and take our jobs. People do not see this. It's absurdity. It's one thing if you come here legally, like we always say, Michael, I have no problem with that. You come in here as an illegal citizen, you want to become an American, you want to learn the cultural identity, the language, fine. You speak English, you salute our flag, fine. If you don't, go stay where you're at. We don't need you here, man. We already got a big problem with the Chinese over here. Anchor babies, 75, 80,000 a year in San Francisco alone, California. It's absurd, and nothing's being done. The media is so complacent, it's ridiculous. They sit back and do nothing except lie every day. Lie. Filthy lies come out of their filthy leftist, communist, Bolshevik mouths. And they brainwash all these most people were too busy working. You know what, Michael? I got to tell you this. I found out. I heard the air now in LA is 40% better than it was a month ago. I heard Beijing is the same way.
Yes.
So maybe this coronavirus is one thing it's doing is cleaning up the air quality around the world. Okay, so that's one thing I'm looking at. The air quality supposedly has gotten a lot better in a lot of places. Maybe another 2 or 3 months, maybe the air will be like it was back in 1940, 1930. Who knows? I don't know. But that's one thing I'm looking at. The air quality, what this Wuhan virus has done, is made the air quality a lot better, supposedly around the world. But and by the way, Finland just opened up its economy today. Sweden,
yes,
Denmark, and Austria are all opening up their economies. That's over. They're going back into business. So I believe the United States can go back in business within another 2-3 weeks. I really do. I don't think this is going to go much longer. I think this virus thing, it's got to open up. They're going to open this economy, I'm telling you. And as far as what I got to say to you, Michael, these blue states that are blue, they're going to stay constantly blue no matter what you've done for them, because there's so many illegals and liberals that just want free handouts. Michael, if you got 8 million illegals in California and only 2 million of them are working, you got 6 million in that state. What are those 6 million illegals doing?
Voting themselves.
I'll make it better, Michael. What are we got 3 million. We got 8 million in California. You got 3 million working, 5 million sitting at home doing that because they can't find jobs. They have no papers and they're illegal. What are they doing? Who's paying for their health care? Who's paying for their food? Who's paying for everything? Of the 8 million, you got 5 million sitting at home doing nothing. They're turning to crime. So my point is this, and I agree what you want. The guy in New Jersey, we agree. Trump needs to show me something immediately about this illegal invasion. Bad enough we got this Wuhan red Chinese communist virus. That's horrifying. But to think about all these years we've allowed illegals. And you know, they always say, well, what's there here? You can't deport them. How did Eisenhower get rid of 2 million of them, Michael? In 1956, he deported 2 million out of here. 56 and 57. How did he do it? Want me to tell you how he did it, Michael?
Just rounded them up and put them on a bus.
He put them on Yellowbird buses. That's right. Yellowbird school buses. He rounded them up and put them on Yellowbird buses. They have the article about it. And now it's like, oh, you can't do that. And, you know, I got to ask your opinion on this, Michael, because you know a lot more some things than I do. Now, what do you think is going to happen with DACA? What's going to happen with DACA?
Well, I think we're coming up on a fight over the continuation of that. And I think probably that if Trump does win his second term, I'm expecting that we're going to see that issue heat up a lot. The advantage of Trump in his second term is he doesn't have to worry about re-election. And I think we're going to see Trump. We're going to see more of the Trump that we thought we voted into office back in 2016, because he doesn't owe anybody any favors. And he's not worried. He's not worried about running again for office. And so he can pretty much do what he feels like doing. And I think we might actually see him, become more of the president that we thought we voted for in 2016.
I absolutely agree with you, Michael. I mean, that's what I'm praying for, because, when I see that pig Pelosi on TV, Michael, I get the twitch like she's got. I start twitching. I start, how she has like Tourette's or something. I get like her, because I'm like, man, this woman spews so much rat crap out of her mouth. Here she lives in a $28 million home in San Francisco. Her husband's worth $600 million. Why don't they take half their fortune and give it to all these illegals and all these people who have coronavirus? Why doesn't she go start buying respirators? Hundreds of them. She's got multiple millions of dollars, Pelosi. How did she get so rich? She was what was she? I don't know if she was even in a hippie age, or what was she? She came out of Maryland, I know that. And she's nuts, and she's 80 years old, and she's being dictated by AOC and all those squad. That's who's telling her what to do. When they tell her to jump, she says how high. That's exactly what's going on with Pelosi. She's not running that Democratic Party. She got that squad doing that. Squid, whatever you want to call him, that Omar, that's another fruitcake. Michael, she was living in, she married her brother?
Yes.
She married her brother, and now she's telling on the next stimulus that she wants $300 billion for sanctuary cities, and all illegals should be getting stimulus checks. Omar and Ocasio-Cortez. Morons. I don't know how much longer this is going to go on, Michael, but I tell you, this country's it's teeter on it like a teeter-totter. It's on the teeter of tottering over, man, because it's absolutely insane that we got these demon rats running everything in the House, and they're so. Michael, just think, you're going to have a guy like bumbling Biden for president, and Kamala Harris would be actually running the presidency while she's giving him a whatever. Oh, by the way, Biden's being indicted for sexual harassment. You heard about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. Have you noticed how quiet the Me Too crowd is about that?
Yes, and they don't say a word about that. And if it would be any other way, she was on the other foot. Oh my goodness, you would never stop hearing about it. It'd be bigger news than the coronavirus with all these liberal CNNs and all these liberal networks. It's just disgusting what's going on, and the people are being played like fools, bumbling idiots, because Michael, the only good thing is a lot of these people that ain't working anymore, they're going to be able to stay home and start dissecting what's actually going on in the news if they want to watch the news. They're going to see the real rats, what the rats are really out there. Millions of people are now that never had opportunity to watch the news and see make the judgments are going to start really waking up. I mean, their eyes are going to be, the blinders are coming off, eyes wide open, because they're going to see the hypocrisy of the Democratic Party, the liberal, Bolshevik, leftist, commie media. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And Michael, I'll leave you with this thought. You got other callers. Joe McCarthy was 150% right when he said there's too many communists in this country, and mainly in Hollywood. He knew it. He was right on the money. They said he was a kook, and they made fun of Joe McCarthy. They were saying all kinds of filthy things back about him in the 50s, and the guy was absolutely 100% correct. Agreed, Michael?
No, because a lot of people who were not really communists had their lives ruined by Joe McCarthy. He was out. He was just guilty of self-aggrandization, rather, and a lot of very serious actors and writers got blacklisted for no good reason at all. So we're going to have to disagree on Joe McCarthy.
Well, he was pretty correct on some things, I tell you that. Maybe not everything, but he was all pretty. He had his finger on pointed the finger on what was really going on in Hollywood. Because look at Hollywood, Michael. Hollywood's a joke. It really is. The crap they put out of that Hollywood anymore. Once in a while, you get a good movie.
Do you think does that include all the films that I worked on?
Well, I don't know. I tell you one movie, though, Michael, I saw the other night. It really hit me hard. Was the Planet of the Apes, the original.
Yeah,
that was a good movie. That really was. Heston played that movie to the T. Let me tell you, I really thought it was great. So they don't make actors too much like that anymore. But that's all I got to say, Michael. We'll see. This bumbling Biden now, he's gonna blow up big time. You'll see. I think what you said a year ago, Hillary's gonna step in on this. Hillary's gonna come in. You watch.
Yeah, she's gonna try an end run of some kind. I'd be willing to bet real money on that. Okay, Tom, we're going to let you go because we've got other callers waiting on the line. We're going to go to Sebastian in Sweden. Sebastian, thank you for waiting patiently. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Oh, yeah, Mike. Listen, I want to talk about Joe. I agree with Joe, and I have something to add. I think, like here today, it came out in the news, not really the mainstream, but a newspaper that 6 plus 60 is going to be taken out of intensive care, whatever they're in there for. They're going to be taken away from an intensive care, and to make way for the people that with the corona flu. And I think that's planned because the majority of the people are over 70 or 65, between 65 and 90 or whatever, and they're the people who in the next election, the next 2 years, are going to be voting for the Swedish Democrats. Now, we have a social democratic government that's doing this, so I think it's a planned eugenics for the old people in this country, and maybe all over Europe. And another thing, and perhaps even in America, I don't know what the demography that voted for Trump, but maybe I know my sister and brother-in-law in Virginia, they voted, they're 75, 76, and they voted for Donald Trump. So I think if that could be also part of this whole system of, what Joe was talking about from Tennessee.
The agenda.
And also, the military is going to come out after Easter and test people in the country. Not everyone, but just maybe 1,000 or 15 or 2,000 or 3,000 in all parts of Sweden, which is a pretty big country. It's like California. But anyway, I think it's just part of a plan to just. And I don't know about the elections in America. I don't know. It's something. Maybe they don't have it. And if they digitize it, make it done by a computer, it's going to be thrown. Okay, that's all I got to say, Mike. You take care. I have to leave, Mike.
All right. Well, thanks an awful lot for the phone call. We got to take another break for commercials. More callers when we come on back.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, keep it today.
Did you know that you can be tracked and traced when you're online? With identity theft and cybercrimes on the rise, your passwords, your identity, and even your physical location can be revealed to complete strangers. Would you like to surf the internet anonymously and not have to worry about these threats? Well, now you can by visiting patriotinternet.com. For about $2 per month, patriotinternet.com will conceal your IP address and your physical location, allowing you to browse the web, send emails, and instant message anonymously. patriotinternet.com will bypass filters, block sites, and keyword blocking. You can also bypass logging by your router and your ISP. With patriotinternet.com, there is no software to install and uses 128-bit encryption for your protection. When using wireless hotspots, patriotinternet.com shields your information from identity thieves and is compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux. Protect your identity and your freedom with anonymous internet access from patriotinternet.com. Visit patriotinternet.com today.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly!
The new EaseOff Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The EaseOff lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
Sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the EaseOff? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my EaseOff?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows too. EaseOff LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
Some are maxed out all their credit cards. Some are working 2 jobs and living in cars. Minimum wage won't pay for a roof, won't pay for a drink. If you gotta have proof, just try it yourself, Mr. CEO. See how far $5.15 an hour will go. Take a part-time job at one of your stores. I bet you can't make it here anymore.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. We're going to go back to the phones here to Ken in New York. Hello, Ken. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hi, Mike. I've complained many occasions about chemtrailing in eastern Long Island. You can't believe this. It stopped about 2 weeks ago. We've had sunshine ever since.
Well, that's very believable if you think that the chemtrails are actually contrails for commercial passenger jets, because the jets aren't flying anymore.
Well, I don't think that, and the reason is I see small jets that let out contrails, and they usually disappear within 5 minutes.
Well,
What
that
we've
depends
been
on the
seeing
weather
since
conditions.
Yeah, I agree. But even on clear days, when they let this stuff out the back, and I don't believe that the commercial airline is doing it either. But I've actually had my congressman, when I complained about it about a year and a half ago, referred me to Geoengineering Watch. I said, that's wonderful. So you know something's going on up there, but you won't do anything about it.
All right. Well,
when this stuff spreads out in the back, it just stays up in the sky. It spreads. I work on a bus. So I can sit there and watch it. Within a half hour, a streak, they'll go from one side of the sky to the other in about 10 minutes. I mean, these guys are up high and they're flying fast. And you can see the resulting trails. It just sits there, and then it starts to spread out.
Well, Dan, obviously, you and I are going to have to agree to disagree, because I don't think that there are chemtrails up there. I think it's just contrails from passenger jets, and I'm not surprised that you're not seeing as many of them when you consider how many planes are grounded right now. In fact, Fox News had a story where they're talking about all the airlines are parking their aircraft out in California and Arizona and New Mexico just for storage. And because demand for aviation seats is just way down right now. Anyway, thank you very much for the phone call. We're going to let you go here, and we're going to switch over to Dustin in New Jersey. Hello, Dustin. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
It's 5G that's causing the chemtrails, Mike.
Come on. Come
on, man.
Give me
Mike.
a break. Give me a break. Okay.
Do anybody know, like, in the winter when a car is running, do you see the condensation coming out of the car?
Yes.
Do you realize how high the planes are, people? You know, like, it's chemtrails. Stop with that in the 5G. Oh my God, Mike. Enough with the chemtrails and the 5Gs. You know, like, I don't get it. It's like people keep going on about, like, do you feel healthier since, like, there's sunlight and there's no chemtrail? Like, a non-issue, folks. You know, it's just more BS. You know.
Yes.
Just look to Iran. Do they got chemtrails?
All right. Well, Dustin, they're trying to kookify our show, and just stay on the line. We're going to hold you over to station identification. We'll be right back.
Hosted by activists that want to hear from you, the listeners, so that you can get involved in the activism. Please call in at 800-313-9443 at 10 p.m. to enter the discussion. To book yourself as a guest, call our studio at 202-657-5715 or contact RBN staff. Remember, keep it real and take the red pill.
Is the Second Amendment your line in the sand? Is the United States Constitution important to you? Are you worried about gun confiscation? You need to join us for free at gunconfiscation.com. At gunconfiscation.com, you will meet like-minded patriots, get the latest Second Amendment news, and find anything you need to prepare for gun confiscation. Visit gunconfiscation.com today. That's gunconfiscation.com. Which side are you on?
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network because you can handle the truth.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero, because World War III is a really bad idea. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show. We're talking with Dustin in New Jersey. And Dustin, just take it away.
Chemtrails. We're at a time like this. People calling in with chemtrails. Come on now, man. Jesus. Mike, did you talk about, I missed the first 15 minutes of your show. I apologize. Don't beat me too hard. But the New York daily death toll reaches third straight record at 700. That's a lot of freaking people per day.
That is a lot of
You know
people.
what I mean? But I mean, that Sebastian from Sweden, God bless you, man. Stay away from freaking people. The reason why they're taking people out of ICUs in Sweden, because they're filling up in Sweden. Sweden's in bad shape. You're going to open up the economy in Sweden and Austria at this moment in time? Are you crazy? Mike, I could see if people, I said it the other day, if people have masks and gloves, that's one thing. But you know the reason why, like, if, man, I don't know. I mean, there's so many numbers out there, right? There's so many speculation of, like, this theoretical mapping of the numbers. But, I mean, what happens if New York and New Jersey, the whole East and West Coast didn't shut down? The numbers would be a hell of a lot higher, and it's a numbers game, and you know it would be a hell of a lot higher if you didn't lock down anything. You know? That listener who called in talking about the bars are closed. Well, yeah, man, the bars can pack a lot of people in. I mean, Mike, did you see that video on Judge Report showing, like, if you cough in an aisle, how it
Yes,
can
I
spread?
saw that.
Because
You can cough across 2 whole aisles, and it just hangs there in the air for several minutes.
Because of the micron size of the water droplets coming out of your mouth. And even when you talk to somebody in the store, it's coming out, folks. Don't talk to nobody in the store. Just go, and that's it. Get your stuff and get out. Because, Mike, they did that. Remember that? I called in about the study in China where the guy got on the bus in a different province. And that guy was sick. He got the whole bus sick. So it can travel more than, that was the whole thing. Remember, it can travel more than 20-something feet. It ain't just 6 feet, folks. And, Mike, you know what's scary? Like, it's hitting Africa, which is a warmer weather, but in the warmer weather, you use air conditioning, right? Like in the stores. Doesn't that actually blow it around?
Yes.
You know, like air.
Ceiling fans,
Yeah.
any kind of fan, anything that moves the air around.
I just don't see how they can get the. I mean, like I said, if they have masks and gloves, they can put people back to work. But until that, it'd be Groundhog Day. You're just repeating the cycle. You know, like you can't. That's why I was always for Trump coming on national TV and doing a national close down of everything. Everything. National Guard on the streets. I hate to say it because I'm a patriot, even though people don't think I am. Even though I live in New Jersey, I mean, I'm for small government. I don't like open borders and crap. But I mean, in order to do this right, you got to seal everything, get people masks and gloves, and then slowly bring the economy back. You just can't blatantly say, well, only a couple thousand old people died. Let's bring the economy back. If you look at the numbers and just look at the numbers without actually think about it, like how many would the numbers be if you just didn't have a lockdown? You know, and that's the whole reason why they're doing a lockdown, to slowly, I mean, what did they say, 50% people are going to get it? And there'd be 20% who got really bad health risk from that. But it's not just old people. That's a myth. It's people who are obese, who smoke, and other health ailments. But that's like half of America, right? I mean, there's a lot of people with some health issues in this country.
Yes.
And you don't know what health issues you have. You know, Mike, I talk to people, oh, I got the best immune system and all that. How do you know your immune system can fight this thing? You don't. You don't. And you want to take the chance, you know? And that's the whole thing with the bars. Like, do you want to go to a bar with 50 people in it? And that one person in that bar, could be one person in that bar that can spread it and you might not get sick, but you'll bring it home. And then when you go to work, you'll bring it to work. That's the issue here. You know, it's not that this is a hoax or not a hoax, but you got to keep that in mind. You know, because you can be inadvertently spreading it because you might not get sick. You don't really feel that you're getting sick, but it's in your system. And that's the problem. And like I said, Mike, I don't think it's a hoax because why would Russia and China and Iran go along with it? You know, was it a bioweapon? Maybe. Was it a natural phenomenon? Maybe. Is it fake? I doubt it. You know, unless all these numbers from around the world are fake, including Iran and Russia, which I doubt.
Yes.
You know, by the way, Russia's numbers have gone up. Did you see that?
Yes.
So, I mean, why would Russia go along with the fraud? Why would Putin go along with the fraud? You know? And I don't know if you heard this.
There's no question that there's a real virus out there, and people are really getting sick and people are really dying. People, are seizing on the initial predictions, the very dire predictions, which are not panning out, and saying, you know, that it was all a hoax. Well, you know, maybe those initial numbers were deliberately overstated so that when the real final numbers came in at much lower, they could say, see, we were successful in dealing with this.
This is true. That might be. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Rahm Emanuel, right? Like everybody will take advantage. Even Trump will take advantage to their own political gain. You know, Nancy Pelosi, all the rest of the crew, Republican, Democrat, up, down, left, right. But Mike, like I said, back to where I said, what happens if we didn't have a lockdown, especially on the East and West Coast? Majority of the people who live in the country are on the East and West Coast. The numbers would be worse. That's just, I mean, if you look at the numbers coming out, that's just a fact. If there was just no lockdown, because we got a lot more people than Sweden has, and like I said, Sweden's in bad shape. I mean, they're going to be hurting, you know, because I don't know what do you know the demographics of Sweden? Like, what's the population of the young versus the old? Or
no, I don't.
They probably eat healthier than us. That's for sure, right?
Probably.
I think the East doesn't like the Europe. Like, they're kind of healthier than the United States, don't you think? In terms of like,
yes.
I don't know what. Well, except for Italy, I know they have smoking but I mean, we have a lot of health problems in the United States, you know. But like, but again, Mike, I look these numbers. Yeah, they could be exaggerated or underreported also, because remember, this started probably before they even were telling us it started. So those people who died weren't registered. But then on the other hand, they can register people who died of the coronavirus that died of other ailments. So it's both ends of the spectrum, you know. We don't really know. There's a lot of political crap going on and this or that, but I mean, but doesn't mean you should be, I said it again, street smart. You know, if somebody, Mike, I went to Walmart yesterday. I think I told you. The dude was, the employee, no gloves, no mask, coughing like crazy. I was hitting the machine to get out of the store, and I had a mask and gloves on. You know, I got an N100. But still, it scares the crap out of you. None of these stores can supply masks and gloves to people. Like, you know, I don't understand.
Well,
and Mike,
were at Walmart. We were at Walmart earlier today, and a lot of the store employees were wearing masks, but it's very obvious they're providing their own.
Isn't that sad? Walmart probably has a problem procuring them, right? Like at this point?
It may be. It may be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at how many employees Walmart, you know, as a national concern has, they probably just threw up their hands and said, we can't find enough.
Mike, how many registers are actually open and how many robot registers are? I counted 2 registers open. The rest were all the robot registers where you got to scan your own items. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I noticed that. I won't use those scan your own registers because, you know, you got to put people to work here. I think today, and the store wasn't that particularly busy, I think there were 4 human checkout registers in operation. And of course, there's a little mark on the floor, 6 feet apart, you know, to do the line there. and we got in and got out as quickly as we could. And yes, all the robot registers were open, but I won't use those.
And Mike, before I get off the phone, the gentleman called yesterday, says, I don't want nobody getting in my way of smoking a stogie on my deck, playing golf or whatever. Nobody's telling you can't go to the liquor store or to the store or smoking a stogie on your deck, drinking a six-pack of whatever you want, or sake or whiskey or vodka. The whole point is they don't want you going to an area that has 100 people in it, okay? Because that's how this thing spreads, you know? Times three, times three, times three. Now, you cannot believe it, but you might believe it. So, I mean, you still got to use street smarts. You know, you just can't be willy-nilly say, well, I'm going to go to a bar with 50 people. Come on. And, you know, Mike, all these bars are getting fined. Doesn't matter what state, right? Yeah, they're all getting, because they don't want a majority of people going there and just doing what they do. Hey, man, be your own party. Stay home. Drink a six-pack, have your own, cigars and whatever ready, and watch a movie, play a game, play cards or a board game or something. But, I mean, come on, man. I mean, I don't know, Mike. Have a good night, okay?
All right, thanks an awful lot. We're going to switch over to Andy in Texas. Hello, Andy. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind today?
Well, hey, Mike, I don't want to be the burden of bad news, but let's look at what's going on here. So many people have overthrown the idea of this coronavirus being a pandemic the way they're saying it, and yet we still have these draconian measures coming in. So, and there's a lot of us, okay, the lemmings, they all believe that this, and please don't cut me off. There's a lot of these lemmings out there that actually believe there's something going on here as far as a disease goes. And if you read into the COVID-19, even by Dr. Fauci's New England Journal of Medicine findings and stuff, the death rate to this thing is 0.1. So having said that, they've given us all these clues to realize that this is perhaps they're overplaying this and whatnot. But they're all in because they showed to us that this is possibly, yes, COVID-19 is something, but it's not what they're saying it is. But they're all in, and people have discovered it. I mean, all the networks that I'm looking at and whatnot are coming up with the same idea. The same doctors are showing up saying the same thing. And could that be a play? I don't know. But having said that, there's no turning back now. So you got these Dr. Fauci's and the head of the St. Louis Federal Reserve Bank and stuff talking about we got to go into people's houses and get those, because we put them all in their houses. Now we got to go in and get the people in the houses that are infected. And I think that's going to be rounding up all the people who are deniers to this because we're undesirables. And so having said all that, they can't walk this back now. Okay, the trust of the government, even if they do walk it back, and all these lemmings that don't believe in what most of us who have researched it found out, they can't walk it back because it'll take us forever to get these people to understand it, all these lemmings and whatnot. But this is a big move by the New World Order, and I know you're aware of that, and chemtrails, whatever, and whatnot. But I think Dustin he's playing into the problem. No offense to Dustin, really love listening to the guy, but I think he's playing into the problem. The problem is not this COVID-19. The problem is the U.S. government and its overreach. And all of a sudden we have Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates running the entire show. And what's the number one thing Bill Gates wants to do? He wants to vaccine us all. Okay, and we already know the prognosticity of a vaccine. We already know that things are linked to it, like autism and whatnot. And this guy wants to vaccinate everybody and or have a piece of paper that states that either you're not infected or you have been vaccinated, just to maintain work now. And they're also moving in on digital currency and whatnot, which could be any number of things. I've heard several different things that are going on with this digital currency. And let's not forget that most people are already using digital currency with their bank cards and whatnot. So this is not a far step from that. And so, I mean, I'm a cash guy. I do work for cash. You don't pay me cash, you don't pay me. I don't work. It's done. And so look at all the people that are going to be at a disadvantage to this. Cab drivers won't get a tip unless they got a little card in there. They can slide your card and take $2 off your thing or whatever. Or the strip joints, stuff like that. So society's never going to get back to what it was. So, and I keep hearing a lot of your callers that keep saying that, well, when this is over. No, this is not over. This is the new world order, in my opinion only. I'm not an advertiser here. This is it. They have no choice but to keep going forward with this. Even those people who disclose that this is what they're doing, even if there's 1 million of us, it doesn't matter. There's 350 other million people that have an entire different idea. And I've seen the ecstaticness here. And I'm not actually in Texas. I'm in California. I said that before on the phone. And California is the hub. Okay, these people are bringing down, they're giving $1,000 fines for people hanging out on the beach by themselves. Nobody to give the COVID virus to. They're giving them $1,000. They're couples sitting in the car down at the beach in the parking lot talking. They're giving them $1,000 tickets and up to 90 days in jail. Some of them are saying a year in jail. So, I mean, this has gone way too far. And those of us who have done the research, looked at the Dr. Fauci's, listened to the Dr. Kaufman's, and there's a strew of other doctors that are saying the same thing, that this virus, they're calling it a flu virus. It's COVID-19. There was COVID-18, there was COVID-17, there was COVID-16. But for some reason, COVID-19 is the novel coronavirus. And I just don't see what is going on here, other than the fact that this is a major takeover of our country. I don't know what else to look at it as far as, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'd like to roll back here to this idea of the cashless society, because frankly, those plastic cards can carry the virus particles as easily as currency can. But I think the solution to that, without becoming a totally cashless society, is I think it's time for the United States to adopt polymer notes the way that Canada and Australia have, because those can be sterilized and cleaned very easily.
Didn't you say that the American money system, they were putting in herbicides or virus protection, that they were sprayed with it? Didn't you say that a while back?
It's part of the formula of the paper that the notes are printed on. There's a bacteriostatic chemical in there, but how effective it is against the virus, we don't know. But the polymer notes, I mean, they last longer. They're certainly much more colorful. The fact that they're transparent in certain places makes it easier for vending machines to read them. The ones in Australia, I don't know if Canada does this or not, but the ones in Australia are notched on the edge so that visually challenged people know what denomination it is. The more notches they have, the lower the value. So you can't have somebody take a $1 note and try and turn it into a $10 note, because it works backwards. The more notches you cut, the less the note is worth.
Well, I think people need to take a step back and stop looking at the COVID-19. I think they start looking at what's happening around the COVID-19, what they're coming up with, vaccines and stuff. And I'm sorry to say it, but I think Dustin's going to get he'll be in line. He'll be the first person in line to get a vaccine. And that scares the hell out of me, because I really believe and trust in Dustin when he calls up. Up and until this COVID-19 came out, I really I got ticked off if I didn't get the radio on in time to hear Dustin in New Jersey. But right now, he's just not sounding like somebody I want to hear anymore, simply because I think he's missing the big picture. The big picture is if he has any knowledge whatsoever, and I'm sure you do, this is an NWO takeover. And they can't turn it back. They can't turn it back. No matter how much truth gets out, they can't turn it back, because they went on it. Everybody thinks this is some sort of exercise for the big pandemic, and it's not. It's not an exercise for the big pandemic. This is the big pandemic. And that's why we're all still in our houses and nobody's coming out. And it's getting close to that. I do believe that we're about to see some whole bunch of, let's call it BS, is about to happen. But they've already been moving troop movements around the country and stuff. And everybody's trying to say, no, that's just normal stuff. But no, it's all over the place. So, I mean, people
Andy,
need to really start.
Yeah, Andy, we're going to have to let you go. We got to take a break for commercials. The phone lines are loaded up. We'll be right back.
What would you say if I told you we have a new tool that will increase production and lower maintenance costs for your meat processing company? And it would pay for itself in just 6 weeks.
When pigs fly,
The new Ease Off Model Easy 4 replaces old spring-style carcass droppers and is faster, safer, and more reliable. The Ease Off lowers or lifts 1,000 pounds to or from your rail automatically using our remote control.
sounds expensive. Can I afford it?
Can you afford not to try the Ease Off? It installs fast with just 3 bolts in place of your current dropper. The effortless operation will reduce fatigue and injuries, speed up your line, eliminate downtime, and increase profit.
How can I order my Ease Off?
Go to easeoff.com, EAZEOFF.com, and hurry because we are offering $200 off on the new Easy 4 for a limited time. Easeoff.com. We make pigs fly. Cows too. Ease Off LLC, Summersville, Missouri, 417-932-6419.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
We will not go down in the night without a fight. You can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight. Women and children alike.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show here. The phone lines are absolutely full. That's why you can't get through right now. So let's clear a few more phone calls. Miles in Maine. Hello. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, aloha, Michael. You know, Doomsday Dustin's blowing me away, too. You know what I mean? I mean, the guy is just blowing me 20 to 23 minutes of this nonsense. That be afraid of a less than 1% virus, but chemtrails don't exist. Hey, you ever hear of Clifford Carnicom? I know you have, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael?
Yes, you're on the air.
Would you say, would you say Clifford Carnicom's research is faulty?
Yeah, I would have to basically come to that conclusion here because I don't think, I think this chemtrails is sort of like along the lines of the claims that the Apollo moon landings didn't really happen. It's being put out there to try and make us look like we're a bunch of kooks so that the American people will.
How about over the past decade, the independent research done about the aluminum and various other chemicals that come out of those chemtrails. Is that just? I mean,
do you know how much? Do you know how
really
Miles? Do you know how much research, quote unquote research, was put forward to prove that the Apollo landings didn't happen, and then all of a sudden you had spacecraft from other nations, some of whom are not really our friends, imaged all of the Apollo landing sites.
Let's skip the chemtrails. What about what Fauci himself said is that there'll be now he's revised his numbers from 2 million to 60,000 might die. What about that?
Well, like I said earlier in the show, my opinion on that is they may have set the numbers very, very high at the beginning so that when the real numbers came in much lower, they could take a victory lap.
Well, I still think Doomsday Dustin has taken 20 to 23 minutes on trying to scare the hell out of people. And, it's just ridiculous. I look across the board. You look at these states. Some of the states I see, and like Fauci even said, none of them have even a 1% yet. I mean, some of them have 9,000ths of 1%, and we're running around here. And Doomsday Dustin thinks it's okay to shut down the economy and put everybody in gloves and masks and shut it all down. I think it's nonsense, Michael, and I'm surprised you wouldn't.
Well, I'll tell you when Claire and I go out. All right, thank you very much. And we're going to switch over to W in Texas. Aloha, W. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yes, Mike. I want to talk about Biden and the idea that I think it's kind of presumptuous just to assume he's going to automatically even be the nominee, because I understand at least the last couple of elections, the vice president is not picked until after the convention. Is that right? Is that typically how it works?
Generally, well, no, actually, because the presumptive front runner will pick a running mate. In fact, there have been a couple of conventions where some of the candidates already have running mates, and they'll take the stage together when they win the nomination.
Okay, well, I guess I'm saying that too because obviously, everybody is noticing Biden's situation. Mental clarity. Even like Joe Rogan, the biggest podcast in the world, who's kind of middle of the road, who supported Bernie Sanders, now says that he's not going to support Biden. He would rather, support Trump. So I guess I'm saying that to say because the superdelegates will actually make that decision. And, as crazy as this nomination process has been, this primary process has been, they could literally pick a totally different candidate, out of the clear blue sky, whoever that may be. So I think it's kind of early. I mean, it makes sense to, consider what type of VP he may have, but I just don't, it's a 50% chance he will not be the nominee. I mean, I think it's that.
Agree.
It's that.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Now, of course, they're trying to maintain the image that the voters in the primary are still picking the nominee. But you're absolutely right. It's with all the machinations and the election fraud and everything going on, it's all machine politics here. And like I said, I'm still expecting Hillary to try and end run to get that nomination. And if she gets it, the cheating that we saw in 2016 will look like a summer picnic compared to what's going to happen this coming November. She wants that Oval Office more than life itself at this point.
Yep, it's going to be interesting. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we're going to switch over to Steve in Riverside. Aloha, Steve. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Are you there? Yeah,
yes, you're on the air.
Noise. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Have you seen
Steve,
David Icke's?
Steve, I got to put you on hold. I got to put you on hold. Don't hang up. We'll be back after these few words.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
It happens more often than we can imagine. In my case, I was sitting at home, and out of nowhere, I just started feeling uncomfortable. Then it got worse, and I started perspiring. I tried to ignore it, but I waited too long. The chest pain came as we were driving to the hospital emergency. I felt my life clock begin to tick. I barely survived. There was lots of damage done to my heart. What do I do now? I was lucky. I took a leap of faith and tried a 7-herb formula with hawthorn, garlic, cayenne, and more called Extendivite. Herbs have been used for thousands of years to keep us healthy. If you're not using Extendivite as a preventative supplement, maybe it's time to start. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
How would you like to earn an extra $10,000 or more a month from the comfort of your home? We show you how to win with a home-based business opportunity. This could be one of the best financial decisions you ever make. Work from home, full-time or part-time. Plus, you'll never have to talk to anyone. Our professional sales team closes all your sales for you, and you keep 70% of all the sales made. You could be earning money while you're sleeping, shopping, working out, wherever you are, day or night. Our system goes to work for you. You can make a great income without any special computer skills or sales training. Plus, you get paid fast, within just 24 to 48 hours after our professional sales team closes a sale for you. Let us help you eliminate your financial concerns. You could be earning enough money to pay off debt, buy a house, a car, or whatever the case may be. We've got you covered. If you'd like to add an extra $10,000 or more a month to your portfolio, and you would like to know exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it, go now to www.getstartedwithus.com. That's www.getstartedwithus.com. Again, that's www.getstartedwithus.com.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero. Visit us online at whatreallyhappened.com. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show. We're talking with Steve in Riverside. And Steve, if you could just start over and tell us what you're thinking.
Mike, about 4 days ago, David Icke did a video on the coronavirus or this COVID-19, and with an interview with London Steele. I watched it then. It's been banned by YouTube and some of the other places, but it's a 2-hour interview backed up by 2 doctors that he's got, at least in the original version of it. It was followed up with 2 doctors, an Andrew Kaufman and a Cohen. And I can't paraphrase all he's going to say because it's a little long to do it, 2 hours in a few conversation. But basically, what he's saying is the PCR test that's being used to judge this thing, as you know about, I don't know if you know about it, but anyway, the PCR test is totally unreliable, has so many false positives it shouldn't ever be used, and it it can be manipulated any way they want to on the thing. So that's the first thing. So that's how they're getting all these rising death tolls, or not rising, more and more people test positive for coronavirus or COVID-19 or whatever you want to call it now. Then about the death tolls. What he's saying is that anybody, and you can see this all the time on the internet, the guy is 85 years old, he's got cancer or 2 other morbidities, and he dies. But he tested positive. As soon as you go in the hospital, they test you for with the PCR test. And if you're positive and if you die, they say you've died of that. That's how they're getting the soaring rates of death in places like Italy. He says if you look at the death tolls from these places, the overall deaths in places, he didn't cover the United States, but he covered England and Italy. He says they haven't risen at all. So all they've done on this is reclassify deaths that were from something else as to be caused by COVID-19. Now, it would be, the website has done 4 million views, and then they shut it down on YouTube, but you can still look at it if you go to David Icke's website or you go to London Real's website directly. Most of it is still up. Sorry, Dustin. It is a hoax, if a very elaborate one. Go ahead.
Well, again, there is a virus out there. It's making people sick, and it is killing some of the people out there. But on the other hand, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the numbers are being inflated, that the hysteria is being deliberately fanned up. And yeah, sadly, Dustin has sort of drunk the Kool-Aid on this one. But, let's not forget the precautionary principle. I mean, when Claire and I go out, we wear masks and we wear gloves, to go to the store here, just in case. And there's part of me that feels a little silly, wearing the mask and the gloves and everything. But on the other hand, there's that little voice in the back of my head saying, there is something out there, and you don't want to get any, you don't want to catch it because it's putting people in the hospital. And I don't like being in the hospital. And of course, we're also having the regular seasonal flu make the rounds right now. And the use of the masks and gloves and social distancing is going to help protect you from that as well.
Yeah, but Trump said, remember in the beginning, Trump said it's just like the flu. And the flu has worked up more deaths than this anyway. Here in Riverside, they passed they did the thing and said if you're out in the street without the mask, they would stop you and arrest you. And the local police refused to go along with it, as I understand. $1,000 fine or something like that. But at least the police here have a little testicles. But the whole thing is being so hyped. I've never seen anything like this hyped. And it is, if I don't know how Dustin is getting his paycheck, but if he doesn't have it, there's not going to be anybody having a job. Anyway, Mike, okay, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. It's, if anybody, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for the phone call then. And we're going to switch over to JD in Idaho. Aloha, JD. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind? JD, are you there?
I just wanted to bring this one quote up. By Ben Franklin. Probably a lot of people know which one I'm going to read. He says, "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety." And I think that's it in a nutshell. And by the way, from some of the research that I've done, viruses, doctors and biology students have not been taught the true nature of a virus. A virus is not living. It doesn't have a nucleus. It cannot be contracted through contact. It cannot. A virus is produced from our cells, and it acts as a solvent to get rid of toxins. Now, that's a huge revelation. And of course, as George Orwell said, Eric Blair, MI6, England, he said in times of eternal deceit, speaking the truth is a revolutionary act. So, I mean, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Thanks for the show. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We're going to switch over to Tom in Utah. Hello, Tom. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
As long as I can keep you ignorant, I can keep you deluded and dependent. And that's what's happening right now. And you know what bothers me? You know, I'm pushing 80. For 40 years of my life, I've had to be responsible for that area of science we call zoonosis. The grand reservoir of disease is out there. It doesn't take a shower, doesn't use a flush toilet, doesn't wash its hands, yet will drag its cadavers into our morgue and then wonder why we end up with the infections that ride in them, but don't take them down because of their natural protection against these organisms. By the way, the previous caller was right. Viruses are inanimate. They have to be vectored or vehicled by bacteria. So you can't really contract a virus unless you contract the bacteria in the process. The bacteria has to be the boat that's loaded with mines or hand grenades. Those hand grenades or mines are the viruses. But you can't get the virus anywhere without the boat that has a flagella or a propeller or impeller or multiple impellers. And you know what's funny? When I look in the microscope and I see 20 bacteria, which is the allowable limit of coliform bacteria in a freshly pasteurized milk, and I know I'm going to offend people this way, but there's 20,000 organisms allowed in a gram of milk. Well, within those 20,000, let's say there's staph or strep or E. coli, there is at least 20 virus particles in there. So the way you get the virus particle into you, it's not through air, because these boats don't float. And they don't float in the air. They have to be floated in fat or fleshy or tissue, or even milk. I hate to say that. I'm an old ex-dairyman, by the way. That was part of my responsibility, was to take my milk samples to the state lab and see if I could meet the criteria so I could sell that milk. And if it had more than 20,000 organisms per gram, it had to be sold off for dairy, for cream or ice cream or cheese or butter. So the filthier milk, the more virally loaded milk ended up in those products that never get sterilized, and you put them in your mouth. So these people know what I know, and I really feel bad that my fellows, of course most of them are dead, are not out there speaking to this fact that it's not air to air, it's not contact, it's blood to blood, fat to fat, tissue to tissue transfer. But nobody's told that. But see, the boys on the top, they understand it. They understand the bell curve that usually occurs when a virus shows up, or a new mutant or a novel organism shows up. And then it's going to multiply, not out there in the air, not on the surface, but within the livestock and fauna. And then you are, dumbly picking that tissue into your kitchen or into your morgue, and you handle it without gloves, like a stupid pathologist or a stupid physician. You know what really bothers me is they never tell the mothers and the family members, when you're going to pull a cadaver out of your refrigerator, don't do it with naked hands, or don't do it just washing your hands with soap and water, because by the time you grab that bloody tissue, that virus and the bacteria that's carrying it already have a chance to get hidden in the crevices of your fingerprint or palm print. And then when you go to touch your mouth or hands, or if you're a woman going to the ladies' room, then you are going to transfer those organisms, the bacteria, vectoring the viruses into you. Now, they may not express themselves well in you, but if you're a mother and you put your breast in the mouth of your baby, those bacteria and those viruses, particularly the viruses, are going to find their way through to your infant. And as you're helping to take care of your parents or grandparents, the elderly folks, because their immune system is not as tough as yours is, they will succumb. And it's actually a war of numbers. And the number of particles transferred through air or droplets or atomized is only within the dozens. But when you're handling, for example, a glass of milk, 1 gram of that milk will move 20 times 20 particles of the viri. And when you overwhelm your immune system with the thousands of particles that you infuse, when you're consuming or handling the raw bloody material, like a stupid physician, that's when you run the problem and you introduce the illness into the human family. And that's all I got to tell you. I am just offended that my fellows are not opening their mouths. You know, I labored up at Petaluma, had to deal with the infections in the fish, or labored down at White Sands, dealing with the military's desire to understand what's in the fauna and in the fauna. You know, the wild animals, so they don't end up sending their military men without knowing ahead of time what they're being exposed to. Anyway, the reality is, Mike, it's not in the air. It's not on plastic. It's in the back wall of Walmart. And as long as we're stupid enough to take the bullshit, you know, from these characters that are not even doctors, they're not even pathologists. They're just politicians riding on an opportunity because we are so freaking ignorant.
Well, this is the first time I've heard that viruses needed bacteria to be infectious, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to buy into that one as well. But when you cough or sneeze or talk,
doesn't lie. The lab does not lie, but the liars figure. And as long as they can keep you ignorant, they keep you sick and dependent.
Okay, well, Tom, all right. Well, Tom, thank you for the information, and we're going to let you go and switch over to Chris in Clearwater. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
PCR test that was just brought up. There's Celia Farber, who interviewed one of the two inventors, Kary Mullis. I mentioned him before, and I won't go all into that, but he's one of the two inventors and won the Nobel Prize for the PCR test in 1993. Celia Farber conducted many interviews before his death last year in August, which might be suspicious. I don't know. Just bear in mind that over 100 microbiologists have died under suspicious circumstances over the last 20 years. And that's in addition to the doctors, mostly complementary alternative integrators that have died under suspicious circumstances in recent years. That's been documented at healthnutnews.com by Aaron Elizabeth. This article that was just issued 2 days ago was by Celia Farber, is entitled "The Corona Simulation Machine: Why the Inventor of the Corona Test Would Have Warned Us Not to Use It to Detect the Virus." And I wanted to bring your attention to that. Very long article, very comprehensive. And Tony Fauci, if you hadn't noticed, he said that he hopes we don't get to herd immunity. Translation is that he hopes that a vaccine will come out for mass vaccination, I infer. Now, have you seen that 2 days ago that Minnesota Senator Dr. Scott Jensen was interviewed by the reporter from KXJB, Chris Berg?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, he refers to the 7-page document from CDC, and the title of which you can find on Twitter from the reporter Chris Berg is, the title is "Shocking Minnesota Senator and Dr. Scott Jensen said that he received a 7-page document from Minnesota Health Department to fill out death certificates with a diagnosis of COVID-19, whether the person actually died from COVID-19 or not." So that CDC document is on their website at that link. Yeah. And also on Facebook is the interviewee, Minnesota Senator Dr. Scott Jensen. and that goes into the detail of what I just explained. So, I want everyone to know. I think the foundational point is to make that the PCR test, or also known as RT-PCR, reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction, is not reliable, and it just measures fragments of DNA and RNA. So, if you might have cleared the virus or come in contact with fragments, then you might come up positive. And that's it's like the difference between intelligence and war. You want to know the difference between a battleship and wreckage of an enemy battleship.
Okay, well, Chris, we're going to have to let you go. We're coming up on another commercial break in the last segment of our program. One thing that concerns me is the PCR test will show positive for any coronavirus, which means if you have a coronavirus like the one that causes the common cold, it'll come up positive. We're going to take a break for commercial after the last segment of today's program after these few words.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Don't regret growing old. It's a privilege denied to many. Heart disease is taking our youth from us. Young people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond are dying needlessly. One of the hardest messages I've ever had to deliver is to convince people that something natural like Extendivite should be taken as a preventative measure. I'm sure you heard an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Extendivite is that ounce. Take Extendivite for 1 year and see what your doctor has to say and how much better you feel. Herbs take time to address the problem. It took years of life to have a problem. Give Extendivite 1 year to fix the problem. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or visit us on Amazon.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
The Republic Broadcasting Network late night premiere show of Red Pill Hardcore is hosted by activists that want to hear from you, the listeners. So that you can get involved in the activism, please call in at 800-313-9443 at 10 p.m. to enter the discussion. To book yourself as a guest, call our studio at 202-657-5715 or contact RBN staff. Remember, keep it real and take the Red Pill.
When all this twisted steel was swept away, did these remaining holes reveal what's really happened? What's really
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show. Last segment of our program today. We're going to go back to the phones to Fred in Iowa. Aloha, Fred. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Oh, first of all, Mike, I want to apologize for the way I talked to you a couple of weeks ago. You're married to a Christian, and I gave a very bad example of a Christian. The next thing is, I do not fault you and Claire for wearing a mask and gloves, because you're getting up in age and you're more susceptible to even the flu. All right?
Yes, thank you.
I belong to an organization. I belong to a movement. I belong to a church that has had the health message for over 150 years. I haven't taken even an aspirin in 6 years. Now, I'm a vegetarian, and it was difficult to start with. But food is your medicine, and medicine is food. And I do most of my own cooking. I rarely eat out. And I'm 82 years old. But I probably have an immune system equal to a 40 or 50-year-old. And I can say, and especially to Claire, read the Word. And God bless you both. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the kind words. Thank you very much for the apology. Although, to be honest, I don't remember what it was you said. I tend not to hang on to that sort of a thing. So we're going to let you go. The phone lines are open, and I'm going to actually try and squeeze some real news in here before the end of our program here. Now, Attorney General Bill Barr is out there denouncing China, saying it's America's biggest threat. And he says the danger posed by the communist country is very serious amid escalating tensions with Beijing over the coronavirus pandemic. Well, again, we're less than certain as to exactly where this thing emerged. For one thing, there are only 3 strains of coronavirus in China. There are 5 in the United States, and a genomic study has shown that most of the coronavirus that is in the United States actually came from Europe. So it's a little bit less than known exactly what happened. Now, we know that there is that BSL-4 lab in Wuhan. We know they had some kind of an incident where they were basically harvesting bats for the viruses that are inside. Bats are like virus generators, and there's a lot of research being done to look at those viruses and see if they can be weaponized. And maybe somebody dropped a test tube. I certainly don't think that this was released deliberately by anybody. I could be wrong, but that's my conclusion at this particular point, that it was an accident. And it's a reminder that we shouldn't really be playing with these things anyway. Okay, there's the music. It's time for me to get out of here and get something useful done with the rest of the day. Stay tuned for John Stadmiller. I'm sure he's got lots of interesting things to share with you. I think starting tomorrow, we're going to try and limit the phone calls a little bit so I can get more news in, and let's chit chat. So sort of plan your phone calls ahead to be short, concise. Anyway, spread the word of RBN, spread the word of whatreallyhappened.com. Please donate. I need a new server. We'll be back tomorrow. Aloha, America.